Hello my friends, Stealth Yoda here with an update video. That's right, I am still alive. I'm doing great, and it has taken me quite some time to finally put this video together. I apologize to all my friends out there. I know y'all been asking the question, where is he? What has happened? Did he finish his build? Did he live his life as a university student in a stealth urban truck? Well, the answer to all those is yes, yes, and yes. I finished it, and today I want to do a little reveal of my build so far, and I'll also want to give you a couple more updates after this video. Do maybe a update of my experience, my first year living in a stealth truck, and all the great things and all the not so great things, the ups and downs and the twists and turns, and maybe give you all some advice if you feel like this is an option and a choice for you. But enough of that, let's get to the build itself. I want to show you what I accomplished over that summer of 2019, and some of the things maybe that I want to improve on, some of the things maybe you can think about doing in your own truck. Alright, well, let's just get to it. I want to show you everything that I did here. Here is my famous camper shell that you all know from the last video, which I was so happy to get, and it did not disappoint. So without further ado, here is my build. That's right. Here it is. These are my cabinets, my floor, my shelves, everything. I want to take you through it all right now. So, my big idea coming into this was to do it on the cheap. That's right. I wanted to spend as little money as possible. Now, that may not be your restriction when you decide to build your urban stealth camper, but it was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to do this with spending as little money as humanly possible. And how did I do that? Well, I scrapped together every piece of wood I could find around the house, every piece of hardware, anything that I could use for this, and anything I couldn't find, I went and I bought as cheap as I could. You know, Home Depot, they have a great section back there in the lumber section that they have discount lumber. So I went there and I checked and I checked and I grabbed every piece that I could that I found that would work for me. So here we go. The first thing that I built here was my floor. Now what is this? This was a big piece of plywood that I found, and I cut to shape. I bought the plywood for about $5. Yeah, 70% off at Home Depot. Took that, cut it to shape to fit into this bed, and then what I did is went down to the local swap meet, and down at my swap meet, or flea market you might call it, down here we call it a swap meet, I found some really cheap carpet. That's right, I wanted that stuff, you know, that wasn't too fibrous. Wanted short fibers so that, you know, it wouldn't stay too dirty. It was easy to clean and relatively comfortable. So this was some kind of like outdoor style carpet, and the guy was very kind enough to sell this to me very, very cheaply, and gave me some free padding. So my dad was a carpet layer, and so from memory I took all the skills that I could remember and put it to use, and it worked out pretty well, you know. Pretty comfortable. I don't sleep directly on it. This is bare bone right now. I took all my blankets and stuff out. This is just my build right now, and I'll show you a little later what it's actually like set up when I sleep. So anyways, after I completed this woodboard, this thing comes out. Everything by the way, before I get into this, all this stuff comes out so easy. Okay? It probably takes me 10 minutes to get everything out. Yeah, I built it in a way that nothing is bolted in. It's all held together with straps. That's right. So let me climb in here and I'll show you a little thing or two. I have the side open, as you can see. I was hoping to get a little light out of that. But anyways, you know, there's lots of different ways I could have built this. But I wanted to utilize the floor as both a sleeping and use space. I wanted as much headroom as I could get. You know, so that's why I chose this center versus a lifted build. You know, some people like to put that bed, which they can like open up and has cabinets underneath and it slides out and all that. You see lots of builds online, but this is the one I wanted because I wanted headspace. I was going to spend a lot of time in here, so I wanted to be able to enjoy myself and be able to sit up a little. Even though I sit Indian style. So here's one of my cabinets I built, and it was a lot of fun. Kind of tinkering. I'm not a woodworker by any means. So all this was sort of learned or figured out as I go. The top, you know, I found inside the garage, and it was an old shelf or something, and I just sanded it down and polished it real well, and I put like some varnish on all these guys, some of that you know, some of that oil, and then yeah, got it real smooth and built these little drawers. And here's my this is my sock and daily clothing drawer here. It's great. Here's what I did. Okay, this is how my design on all my cabinets here was this shelf. I didn't want things opening and closing as I drove. Obviously, you want to be able to secure everything. So what I've kind of figured out on the spot is I put these bungee cords here, and they're attached way down in there, you know, to another these little hooks here. And I just bought a real cheap pack of bungee cords online. You can find them on Amazon for like $5 or whatever, and they, you know, come with like 20 or so different shapes and sizes. And I bought a pack of those, and I said, okay, that's my best option right now. It's best what I could figure out at the time, and this keeps all my drawers pretty much closed. You know, these hinges, I had a few of them here in the garage, but then I went to Home Depot and picked up a couple, you know, really cheap. These beautiful copper handles. You see these? Japanese, made in Japan. Copper handles. These are old copper handles that were here at the house from the cabinets that we had changed out when we did a remodel of the kitchen. And I just took those and cleaned them up. They had lots of gunk on them from years and years, probably 50 years of cooking. And I cleaned them up and I got a nice, beautiful copper shine on them. And they're just wonderful, beautiful. I love these. Didn't have to spend $1 on these guys, just a little elbow grease. That's all. Okay, and then I have my bookshelf here. It's my book drawer. Got all of my books in there. You know, my whatever daily readings I wanted. You know, and you know, this design was really easy. You know, I just had like a couple dividers here. Just built this little thing, and I built this, and then that, and then I put it together with this little 2x4 there, and then got this on top, and kind of slapped it together. Try to make it as spacey as I could, enough, you know, room, and this little drawer here. I can hide things in there too. You know, maybe extra rags or whatever. And yeah, so it was pretty simple, but it just took a lot, you know, time, just kind of tinkering and putting it together. And then, you know, I built this nice. I'm really proud of this, actually. I love my baseboard here, my to cover up the back of this truck bed here, but this was nice. These are all, you know, a lot of this is actually, tell you the truth, made out of plywood. Excuse me. A lot of this stuff is actually made out of pallet wood. Pardon me. It's made out of pallet wood. That's right. I took a lot of the wood I found were pallets, old pallets, you know, picked up. And I just took them apart. My friend had a really good quality pallet that he had gotten from shipping some large thing. and he gave me that nice palette, and it gave me a lot of wood, and I picked up some other palettes, and I just polished the heck out of them, you know, sanded them down, gave them a good finish, you know, and found all the best pieces out of those palettes, and and used the best wood I could find out of those, the straightest ones, and I just gave them a nice shine, you know. I just gave them a nice polish with some good varnish, and why is this so dark? I did one of those real clever tricks where you take a blowtorch and you just go over with a blowtorch on this wood, and you just make this. It gives this beautiful darkened color. It unevenly burns, you know, as these different rings burn at have different densities, so they burn with different rates. So you get this really cool finish on them, and that's what I used to cover up the back part of that bed. Really cool. Loved it. Feels great. Nice to lay on. And then here's my other cabinet. So this drawer, basically just like for like my things, I just kind of like daily use things I just throw in there. Like obviously I don't have a washer and dryer in here. Some people do, believe it or not. They'll put them in their RVs or whatever. But this is like, I hold my change in there. You know, here's my little change bowl. And so I have like electronics, and this is actually my battery pack, my portable battery pack. Had a little stupid compass on there that had popped. That's why it's in a bag covered in with a napkin. I just was trying to dry out all that oil, but this thing works great. Just took it with me to school and charged it at the library, and then that was it powers my lighting. So I'll go over that in a sec. But anyways, and this is my food cabinet here. So, you know, when you're living in a truck, you gotta have things that don't spoil, and that's not hard. It wasn't really that hard as I thought it would. You really think about it, the most things that you eat that come out of the fridge are like eggs, milk, cheese, and meat. You know, a lot of vegetables don't really go bad out of the refrigerator, believe it or not. So if you're going to eat fruits and veggies, you can just buy yourself, always, you know, be near a store, buy yourself a couple fruits and veggies to keep, because I was living in an urban area, you know, so I could just pick things up at the store as I needed. So things I had in here, like peanut butter, spices, and, you know, ramen, you know, classic student food. And it's pretty easy, you know, some teas, breakfast things, sugar, honey. I got honey here. Made myself tea at night. It's Moroccan mint. Loved it. You know, yeah. So easy. You know, I have this. I took out a lot of the food when I came home. You know, so hope everyone's doing okay out there with COVID-19. You know, it's really disruptive, and so it's one of the reasons I was able to do my video now. Is, you know, it really disrupted my school. I had to come home. So here I am home doing this video for you guys. So I hope everybody is doing well. I know that a lot of people lost their jobs out there, and we might be seeing more and more people doing what I'm doing. It's living in a truck, not by choice, but out of necessity. So I hope this video can help those people and help people who want to do it out of choice. So my heart goes out to all of you who may or may not be making it through this hard time. So please be safe and try to do what you can. Find help from friends and family. That's the best way you can do it, is by doing it together. Okay, guys, so enough of that. I'll show you the rest of my cabinets here. So this was great. My stove. This is my kitchen stuff. This is my little thing here. A little Walmart. You know, pots and pans. It's a little kind of cheap. If I would have buy again, these things warp. But it gets the job done. You know, if I need to make a little soup or saute something, I've used it many times. You know, so I would recommend something a little more durable. You know, I think that's something you want to spend a little money on. Is a good compact but hardy, good quality steel, stainless steel or something like that, that you can cook with. But otherwise, I had this great REI compact backpacking. A lot of backpacking stuff. That's a great thing to look into. You know, really, that's really built for this kind of lifestyle. So this was a backpacking little pot. You know, I'd cook soups in there too, and it has like bowls and cups. It's a great little thing. Recommend it. Find something like that. Tupperwares, never used them actually. So that's kind of a waste of space, but you know, I'm sure you can find use. Anyways, here's my really awesome stove. Let me show you. Single range stove. Thing was like $30 at Walmart. Still Coleman, butane. You know, I had a two range butane Coleman that you put those not butane, excuse me, propane that you have to screw in the side, the propane tank, and it's not really built for this. You know, I think the butane canisters are better for this kind of life. It's really easy. You know, that's that butane canister. You just pop it in. You know, you just pop it in there. You know, easy. Like, not so easy. Holding a camera, but there you go. Goes in like that. You know, that closes like that. Locks the butane canister into place. Turns on. Lights. Like that. No problem. No lighter, nothing. I would highly recommend this to you guys. Okay? Go out and buy one of these. If you have a small truck like I do. So anyways, that has been a little lifesaver for me. Okay? Wonderful. You know, and I'll go into a little more detail in my next video about my life, my daily, day-to-day life, how this stove works, like when I cook and all that stuff, you know. I just want to show you my build today, and then I'll go into a little more detail about the day-to-day stuff in my next video. So anyways, that's that. Just going to put this stuff away. Kind of messy. I'm not doing it right. Well, whatever. Okay. That goes in there. I had a better setup a second ago, but like I said, when I came home and kind of disorganized things, I didn't put everything together. Okay. So yeah, so that pretty awesome little thing. Just put it up on top, like I said, you know, and just cook whatever you need, and it was a great buy. So here is my other shelf. This stuff I just use for like more food or towels or stuff. I got everything pretty much cleared out. You know, just like things I want to be able to grab easily that aren't too heavy, that won't roll away or anything like that. And hang some hooks on it in case I wanted to hang like you know, little things, the kitchen things when I cooked. And actually I'd hang bananas on it too, which actually last a while. You know, so that's cool. Another thing you can eat: bananas, apples, all that good stuff. So these things stay pretty much closed with this bungee system that I came up with, which works pretty well. I'm sure there's better designs. This is like, you know, everything's a work in progress. You kind of just have to do your research and just do it best of what you have and the skills that you have, and you can make things work, you know. So, and you can learn little things as you go, and don't be scared to try things, you know. Just get out there and start think a little and do a little research and put in some plans, and then just get to work and see what comes out of it. And you can always change things around, you know, if you need to. You know, it's not that big of a deal. So anyways, all this, like, these shelves are secured in place with, we put in these bolts. My friend Tomas has a great tool that drills holes. You know, we drilled hole into the frame of the shell, and then we could put in little kind of rivet style threaded rivets, and then you could put in bolts. And so I could bolt all kinds of things to the shell. It was a great, awesome tool. So I got these rivets all over, these threaded rivets all over the truck. This is stupid than my tape. I'll talk about that in a sec. And And so it's very useful if you want to just bolt things to like a frame. You know, you got some metal. I have metal, and I just did these threaded rivets, and so that's one thing that I got to do was put these. This is like whiteboard all around my truck here. And before, you can see here is insulated foam. This insulated styrofoam, which I had for the first couple months living in, and I realized that I was dinging it up and kind of touching it, and I would poke it, and it was really soft, and you know, like I could easily damage it by like poking something sharp into it or whatever. And so I decided to put this covering. I went down to Home Depot, found it on the cheap, like I said, really cheap. I think I spent like $10 on this, all of it, you know, and cut it to shape and kind of put it in, and it works out. It's good. A little more insulation, a little more protection for my insulation, and sorry, got a you know, one of those big muffler cars going by right now. Anyways, yeah. So this thing was a good little addition. I'm happy about it. Something a little streamlined would be better, but it works. You know, whatever works, it works. So anyways, that's that. This is something really cool that we did. It's a little gang box here. It has five gang box, and we put it in here just for like my little. I can charge my phone. You know, it's got a little 12 volt. Has USB connectors. It's got this cool Frankenstein switch. My friend Tom, he just kind of had. You were like, what are we gonna do about turning it off and on? I want to be able to turn it off and on from the battery. It's hot wired right to the battery. So, you know, I don't want this thing on all the time, right? I want to be able to turn it off and on as I please. Meaning, when it's on, this, as you can see, I can turn this on, and this light comes on. I don't want that on all the time. Maybe when I'm sleeping, I don't want the blue light. So this Frankenstein switch just is the direct switch from the hot wire from the battery onto this box. So this just goes on. It's alive. It's alive. It's dead. Okay? And then right now what I have attached to that is my fairy lights. You can get those online on Amazon. And they were great. You know, I just strung them up, and then here got this switch. And I'll put that up on Amazon. I'll give you guys a link in the description for some of this stuff I bought, including the battery pack. And you've seen those commercials, though, I'm sure. So just turn this on. Has a little switch, has a little battery and remote, and has different settings, and has party settings. But you know, all these settings are kind of useless. You know, what you really need is number 8. You know. And it might look like it's twinkling on the camera, but it's not twinkling. You can't perceive the twinkle in real life. With that, you know, it's because I think the frame rate or whatever of the camera is picking up on that twinkle, but you can't see that twinkle just staring at it with your bare eyes. So as a dimmer, which is awesome, love it. Then I bought this little battery charge. You want things that can charge, you know, you can take with you and charge them. And this is my reading light, and this light was enough. It's plenty, you know. This light, you believe it or not, when it's dark, this light here, this little LED light, and this fairy light was enough. You can get more lighting if you want, but you know, it was enough for me. I could see just fine and read and do whatever I need to do. So, and then, so also one thing I thought was important, you don't want people to be able, you know, you're stealth camping, right? You don't want people to see you when we have your lights on. So what I did was I kind of, like I said, on the cheap, right? There's better ways to do it, but this way works for me. I actually got little paper clips, made little clips there. I'm sure there's better things out there, but I went to the store and I found these nice fancy little clips, and I just clipped the sheet on a little cloth, nice fancy cloth. something that looks nice. And I can slide these. And close it up at night. Sorry for shaking the camera. Slide these when I'm ready to go to bed. And just make sure, well, right now I don't have them set up perfectly. That one's a little off. So anyways, you know, this would close up and people can't, when people walk by or whatever, they won't be able to see the lights on while you're doing whatever you're doing at night when you're just hanging out. I never had a problem. Never had anybody knock on my door, anything like that. So, like I said, my next video I'll talk a little more about living, and my experience actually living in the truck. And then here's my vent, which was awesome, great help. You know, I had to seal it. You see those black goop, you know, silicone. I didn't have the clear, I just had the black stuff. So I didn't want to spend any money. I probably, guys, seriously, I spent probably less than $200 total on the build. Not the truck, and not, you know, like not fixing the truck up, but on this build itself. All the wood, all, you know, this thing was pretty cheap. The lights were cheap. Yeah, I spent, you know, the wood was almost nothing. I spent less than $100 on wood, and then less than $100 on other little things. So this, you know, this and that. And then, so storage, you know, is important. Being able to like have really efficient storage. And I kind of like wanted to have the space clear at first. I thought I built this box here, this little tray. I was gonna put like a big thing of water, right? Because I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna need like lots of water. But it turns out I didn't really need a lot of water. Like one of those gallons are fine. You just fill those up every couple days or whatever. When I was at school, I would just drink water at school, and then I'd have like a gallon or two here in the truck. And so this ended up being, I was like, oh, I could probably put more storage here. So I went to the Daiso. If you guys don't have a Daiso at home, we're in your hometown, you're missing out. It's like a Japanese store, like almost a 99-cent store. It's like $1.50 or whatever. And oh man, they had everything I needed. Oh, it was awesome. So I got all these like little, you know, Japanese people are really great at designing really efficient home decor. So I was very happy to go in there and find so many things that were very useful. So like little like day bags were great, and these clips I bought right here, and I just hung these day bags here, and this little bag for you know, home use, and I just stored all the things I needed, you know, little knickknacks, little things like, you know, the little things in your life that you didn't realize you needed, and you just kind of accumulate little stupid things. So that's a great little storage for those stupid things. My lunch box, my lunch bag there for like just storing like food that, you know, I would just kind of eat on the go. And then so at night when I close up here, you know, to do as I have another sheet back here to another sheet like that design there in the front, and just close it up, you know, and then I would just close it up so that, you know, nobody can see through when you have light on, and then just I'd lock that in place. When it's time to go to bed, I have this vice grip. This just is what I figured out. Like I said, there's probably better designs, and I put that vice grip on there so just in case people try to break in, they can't. So actually I put it here. I was wrong. Put it there. People try to jiggle, they can't get in. I had to make sure that I turned the handle on the outside by unscrewing it and turning it so that when I locked in place, the handle doesn't fall into the hole, and I don't want to get locked in here, right? So that's part of the reason why I don't lock it with the key at night, because, you know, I don't have that capability to lock it from the inside, only from the outside. So this is what I worked out, and it worked fine. You know, I've never had anyone jiggle. my camper while I slept. Nobody ever tried to break in. So I guess I must have been in a good part of the neighborhood or whatever. But yeah, worked great. So that's that. And so one thing before we go up front, I want to show you is how these cabinets are actually in place. So like I said, I didn't want to have this bolted in. I wanted to be able to take it out quickly so that I can, use this as a work truck or whatever, so, and use this to haul things. So the thing is, I actually put straps on this, and there's some D clamps in there, and these things, this strap goes across, and here's another little D ring, and I just strap it in. You can't see it, but the actual strap tightener is back there. So that's one, and then here's the other. You see that's where it kind of starts, and then back behind here is my strap, and I just clamp that, just to get that real tight, and it holds these things like as if it's bolted. You wouldn't know the difference. It's like it's bolted, and I just pop those out, and these things come right out, and then I can take the floor off, and then take this back thing off, and then I have myself a little work truck. Everything else is pretty much fine. If I want to start putting things inside here, yeah, super easy, super simple. Love that design I decided to do. Especially if I want to clean in here, I can take everything out and just give it a good cleaning. And then also one more thing before we go up front, I forgot to say, is how the shelf is in place. Those threaded rivets I was talking about, we put in these little hinges, these big hinges actually, and got them in place, and that's how it's attached back there. And then these chains attached to the threaded rivets to the shelf, and that's how these things, this is how the shelf stays in place. So I can actually, in case I want this shelf to angle up a little higher or lower, but typically higher is better, I'll do that. So there you go. And so here's that handle I was talking about. I turned it, unscrewed it, and turned it in a proper position so that this is open and this is closed. And the reason, like I said, is if that was closed and someone maybe walked by or whatever and closed this or put it into the recess, I could get locked in, and I would have to, I don't know, call a friend or yell at passerbyers to let me out. So that way, when I'm inside, it stays able to open. All right, now let's just go up front. So really, this space back here, I cleared out of all my stuff, but basically this was storage for clothes and like just little things. I had some boxes back here, like crates, a crate in the middle, and then my laundry bag and laundry basket on the side. So I kept all my clothes and like my shoes back here. So highly recommended that you guys, anyone wanting to live in a truck, this is extended cab is definitely a good option. The only thing I did back here really was I put up these cloths to cover up the windows, the side windows, so that when I had lights on in the back there, it's still a little extra protection, light shielding, so people didn't know that there was someone living in there. And I built these little makeshift foam inserts that have kind of worn out through use. Over the year I used them, so that's why there's gaps. I'm gonna have to make some new ones or try to figure out a better design. And I would just put these up on the windows like so, and then I have my classic sun guard front, the windshield. Ooh, pardon all the noises there. And a messy filming. But yeah, put these down or whatever. And it was nice and dark in here. And lights blocked. And I would put up, you know, my little club. And you know, there we go. That's it. That was my design. So I hope you guys appreciated the update. I know it was a long time coming, and like I said, I'm gonna do a video where I talk about my experience living in the truck, and you know, the ups and downs of that, and hopefully y'all can get a little get some good information from that. Okay, so we'll see you at the next video. Thank you guys for your patience, everyone. I know you all been waiting a long time, so I'm glad some of you have been asking me for an update, and so here I am giving you that final update that I was looking forward to and you all were looking forward to as well. See you next time, guys.